All right. So last time, we had entered the ship. We had found that the ship was in fact a inhabited or possessed structure. We found where it came from. We found out about its sad story, and it left on its journey to find its home. And we all disembarked. There's some potential collusion or something going on between the undead worshippers of Merkel and the Talos following Storm Acolytes. And you find yourselves back on the beach after evacuating the ship as it began to pull away from the shore, where you left your horses. And yeah, we can basically pick it up from there.
Does this Tarbin look like he can actually walk?
Yes, yeah, he can walk. He hasn't been really mistreated in terms of his imprisonment inside. He just was shackled. So that's basically it.
Mm-hmm. Say, how long has he been in there again?
He was taken probably, I'd say maybe a little over a week, and he's basically been kept in that room effectively as continuous as possible, basically singing for and playing for the spirit to keep it entertained and kind of in a lull.
Okay.
Reminder, Tarpon Tool is short stack that we found that was the bard, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure. Well, I'm sure Tarvin would enjoy a nice hot meal, so...
Yeah, Holly is going to suggest that they all stop and take a long rest and camp for, I guess it's not nighttime, is it? What time of day is it?
No, it's middle of the day. You basically showed up at, like early to mid-morning and then had your glorious charge across the beach, followed by a little swashbuckling siege on the decks of the ship. And now it's, mid-afternoonish maybe.
Well, regardless, she recommends that we stop and take a rest. Because I think some of us are a little more worse for the wear here.
Mm-hmm. Town's like what? A day's ride away?
Town is... So you are here.
Yeah, so it's about a day's ride.
So it's not, it's less than that. To ride from here, you guys basically left from here. This took you like maybe an hour, let's call it 2 hours or so to get to this intersection point on the road with your mounts at a normal pace, and then off-roaded it to up here in another like 2 hours. So basically you're here by like midday-ish, and then all this stuff happened with that, and now we're like mid-afternoon. So like the return trip, if you don't have to come up it from this side, would be like a couple hours here, and you could make it here by nightfall, should you want to do that.
If we're playing it safe, then we might not hit anything, and we could just take our long rest at night when we're back in town. I don't think we're that worse off for the way that we can't make it back to town after like 2 hours.
I mean, I'm fine if we take a long rest now, but since we're so close to town, it might be better suited to get to town first before we worry about that. If you want, Tarbin, you can have my horse for the journey.
Oh, that is quite a pleasure. Thank you. I'll gladly share. You gotta remember, he's, not as big as a normal person, so...
Well, he's a human, right?
He is, but he's not a large human, I guess I should say.
You could ride with me. I'm not very big.
That would be fine by me.
Holly's just gonna kind of look them up and down really quick. Then she's gonna go back to looking for any kind of like wood that came off of the ship.
Okay.
Any like pieces of driftwood or things that may have come off in this kerfuffle.
So most of what you're finding isn't really wood because the ship doesn't have much wood actually on it. It's mostly made out of bone and metal. But there are some pieces of kind of bone that you do find on the beach, and you can't be 100% certain it's from the ship because there are a whole bunch of weird undead that are still pinned to the beach as well, like moaning and writhing, except for the few that you effectively trampled and crushed their heads and skulls and killed them. But, yeah, otherwise there's some undead basically moaning on the beach among the waves and some bones.
Okay, so zombies still on the beach. I really think we should do something about this. Like, as in give them all the rest that they likely deserve. So,
Do you know these people? Do they deserve a long rest?
everybody deserves a long rest. It don't matter if you're good or evil. I mean, still, like, no one should have to have their body put through this.
Debatable.
But what if they were really bad people? What if they like littered?
No. No one should have to deal with this.
How many are there? And are they actually like in a position where they're pretty much incapacitated at this point, Junie? Or is it going to be a fight?
No, I mean they're basic. So, just kind of to reiterate the scene from, because it's been 2 weeks since we kind of went through it, is the undead that are pinned to the beach are effectively spiked through into the sand. So like they're standing there, and they're trying to like be undead, but basically they have like a rod that's gone through their torso and into the beach. So they're not really doing a whole lot unless they manage to rip themselves free of their spike, which would mean ripping part of their own torso apart to get that off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, they're just kind of there right now.
Gotcha. Vlad was a little bit more, how we say, in one hole and out the other.
Correct.
Gallery.
Yeah, these are not quite as colorful as those individuals that Vlad may have, in fact, initiated upon. But yes, these are simply through the torso, making their own holes. If you follow.
So, like, are these the type of? I mean, if they're standing in like the spray and the surf, I'm assuming they're pretty sopping wet at this
Oh yeah.
point. So, jeez, lighting them on fire to set them off would probably not work too well.
As he's already started. As I look on and I just kind of sigh and heave my greatsword and go and help him finish this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if they're going to be like getting to work, then I'm going to pull out my holy symbol of Mistra and start giving last rites.
Very well.
Sailors? Is there any way to tell?
These don't look at all like anyone that would be seafaring, as best as you can tell. They don't have what I'll call the look of a seafarer, potentially being a little rough on the facial features and or facial hair, unkempt and uncut. These are more, how should I say, like sacrificial looking. Almost look like they were wearing some form of robes that would be donned if they were part of a ritual, and are now shredded and torn and impaled.
The Cult of Murgle lists? I don't know what that's called.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Merkelites, I guess.
Basically.
Lights. I think that's actually the
On
word.
to the end of it, you good. Aight.
Well, if that's what they look like, and as he sort of suspects that they're the Merkelites, that the pirates, or not the pirates, the Talos cultists would have murdered. Because, judging by the journal that we found, it seems that this ship was taken from the Merkelites, correct?
That is a fair assessment.
Yeah. So these are probably just the corpses of the Merkelites that, do any of them have a specific or an especially, I don't know what the term would be, more prophetic, I guess, robe style? I don't know what
No.
I don't
Yeah, I know
no.
what you're going for. You're trying to determine if anyone has more of a a higher tiered look in terms of stature compared to the rest, and the answer is no.
Okay.
So yes, it is Merkelite, spelled with a Y instead of an I.
Okay. Well, that's as he kind of points that out to everybody, and says, I don't know that killing them will, or killing them again, rather, is really conducive to anything, but if it puts anybody at ease, I'm more than willing to do it just to shut them up. And on we go.
All right. So yes, you kind of play stab-a-mole with all of their heads, and then Talia basically sends them into the afterlife, or whatever that really entails for these particular individuals that may or may not go to an afterlife that may be great or not.
Where they find the rest that they deserve in the name of Mistra and the Seven Stars, so on and so forth. Incense and hand waving, holy symbols. You know the drill.
Indubitably. So the beach is now no longer full of writhing moans. And Cowrie goes and collects the wagon from the north on the beach.
Well, let's make our way inland.
We have a wagon. Why can't our guy ride on the wagon?
I
was
completely
going to
forgot
say
about the wagon,
something,
to be honest.
I was kind of waiting too, because I was just gonna be like, "All
I
right,
was
yeah,
like,
I'll
we
definitely
took the
ride with
wagon."
you. Never ride with you instead of in the wagon, I guess."
I mean, you can still ride with me. Like, it's totally fine. Is it cute?
He is a bard, so take that how you will.
Oh no.
I think we're gonna have to have scales available.
You say he's cute, he suddenly looks at you with googly eyes.
But think of all the stories he can tell me. Yeah, he's riding with me. He's not riding on the wagon.
what a tabaxi thing to do.
All right, very well. So everyone basically gets their horses, and Cowrie brings the wagon down from the north, and you kind of recollect yourselves, albeit a little exhausted, upon your various steeds and contraptions, and I guess prepare for travel. Tarvin has joined Holly on the back of her horse.
I would like Talia to stay a little bit ahead of the group, because, I mean, she's relatively unharmed from the encounters. But, like, also, we have new precious cargo with us, so feeling a little bit protective today.
Fair enough.
I want to
So
make sure that we're not about to, like, get ambushed on the road, because we're still like a full day's ride, so
4 hours.
are we like a half day?
half day at most.
Yeah, half day at most.
Okay, still, yeah. I want to ride a little ways ahead, like a couple hundred yards.
Okay, so you'll take point and then some. Advanced scouting.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I guess unless there's anything more, everyone will set out. And I assume we'll take the most direct route because we're not doing any kind of special old man tips for advancing from the beach.
Correct.
The entire time, Holly was just talking this poor bard's ear off.
Oh, he's into it because, he's a bard. He likes to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you some fine conversations about the finer cheeses in the south and the more delicate wines of the east.
Ooh, he's fancy. Likes wine and cheese.
Well, I mean, whatever it takes to keep the voice intact, right? But yeah, you guys begin your way. Nothing too crazily onto the road, where you don't have anything interesting happen to you on your travels back to Leyland, because it is so short of a trip.
Oh, that's good. Once we get back into town, I turn to the others. I will go ahead and inform Marigold that we have finished, and I'll discuss with her what's going on with it if you guys need to do other things.
Very well. That is your duty. Anyone else doing anything in particular other than pulling into town?
I'm immediately taking our bard friend to the inn so we can go try and find the guy who carved me my knife.
You're talking about the Amber Black Shell Inn, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just need to make sure we were going to the right one.
It's the Amber Burnt Shell Inn, thank you.
Right. Sorry, my bad. I misconstrued.
The Umber Coast Inn, got it.
All right, so Holly is heading to the inn. Also, not really ironically, where the bard is heading, as he is looking for some relaxation after these trying times aboard a ship where he was plucked away from his travels to actually come to this location.
It's really cute that this bard thinks he was going anywhere other than not with Holly.
Oh, that's cute. The bard thought he had a choice.
He just doesn't know that he didn't have a choice at this time. That's all.
Mhm.
You
Basically.
got lucky.
Ah, so the bard had a low wisdom save. Got it.
All right. Everyone else, I assume, is following suit after getting the pack animals situated, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow Marcus. Just stick together.
Okay. Very well. And as he's going to do a little of his own thing for a moment.
So I go and find, or Griselda, excuse me, who's in
Okay.
charge. It's Griselda. Is she, I imagine, in the center of town still, where we normally find her?
She is in the town square, yes. They have effectively set up more or less like a quasi-town hall in the square, where at least two of the three, well, I guess four now technically, two of the four contingent of the quote-unquote council usually can be found up until the later hours of the evening. At that point, they simply have runners to go and try to catch them and wake them up if there's ever an emergency or something that needs their attention.
Gotcha. So I find Griselda. Griselda, we have returned.
Very well, yes. What's news of the tower?
The tower was besieged by a dreadnought, a particular type of ship normally brought into being by liches and all of that such.
I see. So, it's definitely some dreadful things then, yes?
Yeah, the interesting thing was that Talosites had actually taken it from the its Merkelite creators, which was interesting. We were able to dispatch the current owners of the ship, and the Dreadnought should not be troubling the coastline anymore. I believe it is now searching for a home it does not know no longer exists. Though I would caution your sailors for the next couple of weeks when they are out on the waters. If a very oddly shaped ship that looks to be made of bone is nearby, do not approach it.
I will make sure they know. Not many of them travel that far from the shore, but I'll be sure to alert them all.
I believe that's all. We did happen to rescue a man from there. Do you happen to know a man by the name of Tarbin Tall?
Oh, Tarbin, yes, he was supposed to be showing up here about a week ago, but I thought maybe he had just kind of fallen late on his schedule and seeking better time elsewhere. But
Oh yeah, no, he fell late. He was unfortunately picked up by the Talos cultists
well,
and brought aboard the ship for his musical skills.
for his musical skills, interesting. Well, very fortunate that you freed him.
He'll be staying at the inn for the evening. Then I imagine he'll find you after he's recovered.
Duly noted. I will make sure to check on him if he does not come see me first.
Other than that, do you have any? Do you have payment ready, or do you need a couple of days to get it all together? I know that us hitting up the owner of such endeavors so quickly might not have given you time to restock your supplies.
Yes. To that point, I don't have things together for you this evening, but I can certainly have them together tomorrow morning.
That's fine. Has there been any news since we've been gone?
Yes, there has. Yes, there's always news. Apparently, these days, always foul things happening around us. But we've heard a lot of issues, I should say, in the area near around where bandits, calling themselves the Chimera Crew, have been besieging merchants, trying to bring their various goods and supplies here to help us and aid in our recovery. So I may enlist your aid for, well, what kind of retainer would be good? Well, how about 1,000 gold pieces? We'll call it 1,000 gold pieces. To enlist your aid to seek them out and put an end to whatever dubious acts they're up to.
I will take the message to my compatriots and see what their thoughts are.
Certainly.
Anything you can tell me about this Chimera Crew?
Well, I've heard rumor that they like to inhabit areas to the south and make camp, but I can't be sure exactly where at this point. If you give me some time, I can have scouts sent to try to better locate them, perhaps, but otherwise I can point you in a direction.
That would be ideal, as my eyes kind of park at mention to the south. Do we know anything about their leadership at all by chance?
Nothing that I can really know at this time, but I'm sure that if I poke and prod under the right circles, I will find some information.
Thank you. I am most interested in this now. Thank you for everything, Griselda. We'll be at the Umberhulk Inn should you need us.
All right, very well.
And I begin to head off. I don't know if you had anything, Calry, you needed to talk with her with.
No, not at the moment.
Okay. I bow and head towards the inn.
All right, very well. So everyone makes it to the inn. Although Nokris and Calorie are late. Everyone else, minus Azzy, are present at the inn. Arriving, finding the familiar Mirth inside, and a bartender waiting with a kind of interested smile when they see you enter, but at the same time potentially distraught by what you may wreak upon their stores.
The bartender just sees Holly and is like, "No, not again."
This
Where's the
poor
sailor with
bartender.
her?
I feel so
Where's
bad
the
for
sailor
him.
with her? I can deal with one of them today, not both.
Luckily for you, he's not here today. Well, he's not here right now. I can't promise anything when, he decides to come around and we all decide to start drinking again. I don't know what he has to complain about, honestly, because I didn't break any of his chairs. I broke chairs at the other place. And I paid for that chair.
I paid for that chair.
You're not here to correct her, sorry.
That's true, no metagaming.
Oh.
What?
What? Me? What?
Oh, no. Thought I heard something.
Chicka what?
What in the butt?
Why you gotta bring butts into this already?
All right, so now, Koval, we need to inquire
Uh-huh.
a very important thing of you.
Oh, no. Okay.
In your notes from prior session, did you happen to note the name of the individual that was the lumberjack / carpenter that sold his knife for the regal price of 2 gold pieces to Holly?
No. That I do not have.
Okay.
I swear his name was something like Newt or something, wasn't it? Like it was some kind of weird, almost like Icelandic name.
Drunk.
Can we make an executive decision to rename him to Durwood?
I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
All in for Durwood. Raise your hand. Say aye. Aye.
I prefer Newt.
You said aye.
No, see, I don't like Newt. And this is not the Council of Azzy. This is the Council of Junie that decides. Thank you very much.
Look, he can have his own name assigned by God here, John, but as a group, we will rename him Durwood.
I mean, you can call him that, sure, but it won't be his name.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, is that if we all start calling him that in-game, and people understand who we're referring to by way of contact, everybody else might start calling him that by default.
So the only way I'd be able to try to find what his actual name was from that session would be to go back and watch the recordings, but I don't have the time to try to deal with that currently. So, for
patience.
for the current initiative, we will simply state that the individual known as the Lackluster Lumberjack is not currently present this evening at the Cramble Hulk Shell Inn.
I hate this. I quit. I leave the party. I'm so upset.
Actually, you're so responsive to emotion.
Be quiet, tall cow.
Tall.
Tall cow.
Talk out.
So I'm almost certain that his name was like Grog or something like that. It was very simple syllabic, like
Grug.
Grug.
Grug. I think it was Grug.
Yeah, that could be it. Grug.
Alright,
That
his name's
sounds, that
Grug.
sounds right.
Here we go. Got it.
There you go. Grug.
There was an O in the name and a G, so I assume it would
Yeah.
be Greg, because the others don't make sense.
Newt. Gosh. Okay, so anyways. Groog. It was Groog. I think it was Groog.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Groog.
I'm pretty sure it was.
It definitely wasn't Groog.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm pretty sure because I remember saying like, "Oh, Groog knows how to cut down them trees."
It's coming back to me now because of the voice.
Okay, anyway, my
Anyways.
friend
Anyways,
isn't here tonight.
Your friend is not present this evening.
Damn. Alright, so I'm just gonna order a bunch of drinks and wait for the party to get here. Meanwhile, talking to my new friend.
Your new friend Tarbin.
Yeah.
Well, and then that was when I found myself into the bedchambers of the mistress of the house.
And she let you do that thing to her?
Well, let me and allowed me are probably two different things. Two sides of the same coin.
But how did it fit?
See, that's the thing. Sometimes, if you apply enough force, anything's possible.
No, I don't think you should be able to do that with the loot. That doesn't sound right.
You would be surprised. The loot can be quite sturdy.
Holly's glaring at him, but like furiously writing all of this down in her journal. She draws him with like a really fancy hat and like a little like loot and a big old feather coming out of his like his hat. And she just writes, "Fancy strange talker man."
Well, in either case, I don't think I'm able to see myself be in that area again, at least for quite a while. I need that to calm back down again before I can go back there.
Where were you headed before you got snatched up by our ghost boat friend?
Well, I was coming here from Netherwinter, and then I would be journeying out east, but I was making a little pit stop. The upsurge of regrowth in this particular area is, quite welcoming for someone of my particular expertise.
This doesn't seem like your kind of town, though. You seem like you like very big, fancy towns with, like, lots of lights.
Well, see, you are quite correct, but if you ever want to start a rumor, you have to start in the low places like this. Then you let it whisper on the winds until it reaches the big city. And let me tell you, those rumors will change quite a bit when it reaches there.
What kind of rumor are you trying to spread?
If I told you, it'd be cheating.
But how are you going to spread the rumor if nobody knows the rumor?
My work is already underway now. But if I tell you, you'll know the truth, and my rumor will be undone.
I don't think I like you anymore.
Oh, well. That is quite harsh, I feel.
She orders him another wine anyway.
The harshness subsides as he takes a sip.
I imagine we come in at this point.
Correct, yeah.
Please.
You guys enter, and Azzy is short behind you, rejoining the group as well.
His fucking name is Klug.
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 There you go. I knew it was Oog. I mean, Groog and Klug is not that far off, just FYI. But yes, thank you
There
for
we
looking
go.
that up.
Closer than Durwood.
You don't.
I was partially right too because I said his name was Newt, and that starts with a K.
Newt?
Yeah.
You don't
Starts with a
understand.
K?
This
Yeah,
this-
KNEWT.
Why
This
not? Why not NEWT?
Because the K needs to be silent for extra fancy.
Because she has to be right, John.
No, I said it was like an Icelandic kind of name, like Knut, like Canute.
You just
Canute.
don't pronounce like half the letter, then.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
don't
nickname.
say K, you don't say Canute, you say Knut.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyways, Azzy.
it was important for me to find that because I worked with a guy named Clue, and I knew that his fucking name was I knew that I knew his name, and it bothered me that much because I knew that I was somebody that I worked with on the Stennis, but I couldn't remember what his fucking name was because everybody else had forgot. This is your fault.
Okay, all right. I'll take the blame. That's fine. I will take the blame for that. I thank you for your dedication to needing to know, and for bringing us this bountiful gift of the correct name for that glorious character that will forever stay in our party now because he'll never be left behind and will always be in Holly's forefront and thoughts.
But he's a carpenter, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Anyway, as he returns,
Yay, drinking!
no.
Holly
Let's see.
spots him as he comes in, and she kind of just pushes a tankard towards him.
He smiles, takes it, walks up to the barkeep, puts 2 gold down on the table, and walks up to his room.
The barkeep just kind of knowingly nods and slides the 2 gold pieces into his palm and puts it away in his pocket.
Can I click the long rest button now?
Wow, you don't want any foreplay, huh? You just want straight to the action.
Look, I have 63 health, but that's all. I swear to God, that's all from Life Leech. So,
You're not wrong.
and if I don't remember, if I'm not remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure that's all temporary.
It is temp HP. Very much is temp HP, so that shit going away.
It's time for Davy CP.
Well, fair enough. If people want to long rest now, we can long rest now.
Just to make everyone
Yay.
aware, Griselda will have our money in the morning, and she has offered us another job, but we can wait to discuss it tomorrow once everyone's rested and had their merriment and fills of that.
Everyone gives you clear enthusiasm for bringing them this joyous notation. All right. Well, I guess with that, everyone can do the long rest thing, and you'll sleep through the night at the inn.
Okay. And
Yay. I have my whole 2 spell slots that I spent back.
Huzzah!
As everything's winding down for the evening, and before people go their separate rooms, go to bed and stuff, Holly's gonna finish up writing in her journal, and she's going to wait at the door of Anacris's room for him to finish up for the night.
It's awfully
I-
forward of you.
I finish my last mug of ale, pay for my room, and head upstairs. Hello?
It's me you're looking for!
Oh, Oh,
Wow,
right.
Colt. Wow.
No, I know. Oh, right. Yes. Lead the way, since I have no idea where you send these letters to.
Holly just kind of laughs at his very blatant confusion at what's happening right now.
Yes. Pretty sure I remember correctly, but
Yeah.
I might not.
And she kind of chuckles and she leads him out into the beach. Because I assume the beach below us is relatively like secluded. Junie.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's at night in a fishing town area where, you know, the boats for fishing are going to be on the docks mostly. So, you're good.
Okay. So we just kind of walk down towards like a more secluded area, kind of away from the boats, away from the docks. And she pulls out her journal. She pulls out the bone mask. And she pulls out from her bag, pulls out a small iron of some sort, or, you know, like a pewter, what, I don't know what to call them, like a small cauldron, I guess, like to burn stuff in, almost like an alchemical bowl,
Yeah.
I guess. Pulls that out, puts it in the sand. Doesn't really say anything to Nokris, just kind of does her thing. Puts a little bit of kindling in the bowl, and as it starts, you know, burning a little bit, she puts the bone mask kind of propped up against it in front of it, and just starts tearing pages out of her journal one by one and letting them burn.
I let her continue with what she's doing as I kind of put two and two slightly together in my head. I'll have questions after everything's done. But I just kind of sit down off to the side and wait.
Between burnings, she also kind of spreads some snow lily seeds in the sand and makes them bloom a little bit, like not a whole lot, like it's not crazy like flowers or anything, but just like a little sprout or two here and there right in front of the mask. And after she finishes tearing out her pages, she kind of looks at Nokris and she says, her name was Snow.
Relative?
To hear my grandmother tell it, my father had a dalliance with Snow's mother because we looked that much alike. But no, she was not my sister.
So, close friend then.
Very much. We grew up together, we hunted together, we pressed each other's boundaries in every aspect. She was a much... Shut up! She was a much better hunter than me. A much better tabaxi than me.
I find that doubtful considering some of the other tabaxis I've met. I have a sneaking suspicion she would say the same of you in some regard.
You know, she probably would. Just to win the argument. But no, she was extremely brave, extremely strong. Much better at carving than me. And she kind of laughs and she pulls out a little bear totem from around her neck. And this thing looks like a piece of shit. Like, it does not really look like a bear. It looks like a Care Bear. Like, it looks really bad. And then she shows it to him, and then she pulls out her axe, and hanging from the end of her axe is a much, much more craftsmanship, better looking actual bear totem.
When I see both of them, Junie, since I do have some knowledge in medicinal crafting, while it's not the same as wood carving or anything like that, I imagine that I can tell that both were made with care in some manner, even if one does not look as photorealistic as the other does.
Correct.
Well, it is true that one does look more like a bear than the other. I can tell that both were made with caring hands and compassion. and a vigor for life. Just because something looks like something else doesn't mean that its meaning is lost.
Holly kind of goes quiet for a minute, and she's like staring at both of the totems, and kind of sourly says, "It was her compassion and kindness that got her killed."
You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but I'm all ears. As I quote-unquote wiggle scales. Because no one knows where my ears are.
I guess it's time I told someone about her. People are very stupid. Especially people who come to where I'm from and don't understand the dangers of the mountains. They don't understand the creatures of the mountains. And Snow, being the compassionate, kind creature that she was, decided to help an idiot gaggle of adventurers who had no business being on my mountain. And it wasn't them that the dire wolves got to first.
It was your friend guiding and or protecting them from the dire wolves.
I guess you could technically say she got to the dire wolves first. Because that was the kind of person that she was.
Mm.
She saw that they were in trouble and she ran and she died. So now, and she looks back down at the display in front of her. My people are spiritual to a point. We do not follow the gods of the people that you worship down here in the south, but we believe in spirits. We believe in many things that I haven't heard of down here, being mentioned. And it is my personal belief that by wearing this, and she gestures towards the bone,
Mm-hmm.
and by burning these stories that I gathered for her, that they still reach her. Because if you think I'm crazy about stories, you should have seen Snow.
I imagine she would have had the bard's tongue out of his head by this evening already, and him wishing he had never said anything.
Oh, she would have run laps around that bard.
I kind of figured you were writing letters to someone. I just didn't know who, and many people have maybe not the same beliefs as you or in the same way, but they have similar ideals or hopes that we can still talk with those that we've lost.
It is a good sentiment, I think.
It does serve some people well. I am sure she's looking down on you, and as much as you may folly her for her compassion, I think you've let a little bit of it in from her, to say the least.
No, you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally me. I do appreciate you sharing that with me. I imagine it was not relatively easy to dredge up old memories. They tend to die hard.
It feels like I've been wandering for a very long time since I left with these pieces of snow. And you're the first person I told. It was good to finally get it out and find another friend.
I am glad that you are my friend. I'm sure the others would like to hear that of you as well, though I imagine they still have to earn your trust in some manner.
Grandma's scary. I don't know about tall talking cows, and Azzy just likes to. I don't know about Azzy.
Calry will take time for all of us. As you said, he is a tall, talking cow, although I believe he prefers Fearbolg.
No, he's a cow.
As for Talia or Granny, she has seen a lot and lived far longer than most of us. And considering what she does for a living, I'm sure she's seen some hardships. She had taken a liking to Argo a little bit, as you had seen, but with Argo's sudden departure, I have a feeling it hit her a little bit harder than most of us.
I hadn't thought about that.
As for Azzy, well, he may be a little eccentric at times, and might be a little bit hard to read. If you've earned his trust, I would almost trust no one more than him to have my back.
I was going to bring up the tripod thing, but I realized I wasn't there for that.
I mean, it's funny because Nocris is actually going to kind of tell the story. There was this one time when we were fighting, and we were fighting a bunch of cultists in a cave, and we came across a horde of undead in front of us, and it was only Azzy in the front lines, and no one else could really get to the horde because he was blocking the door. And I ended up mounting my greatsword on him and told him to tilt his head a little bit, and I pretty much let off a fireball right in his face to pretty much burn the entire room to make sure that no one was hurt.
Holly dies.
I think I might have popped his eardrums just a little bit, and he couldn't hear right for the rest of the day. I don't know, though.
I don't want to interrupt, but I'm going to. I just want to throw it out there. He said, "Mount me." That's right. He mounted me first, bitch.
It's okay. He's still carrying me off to bed. Just
Oh, the love triangle thickens.
After Holly finishes her laughing fit, she's kind of like lays back in the sand and she catches her breath and she stares at the skull and she says, "Snow would have liked that."
Well, I am sure she will enjoy to hear it next time you decide to write to her.
That hits Holly kind of hard, and she nods, and she starts to kind of pack up her things and put them back in her bag, and crosses over to Nocris and puts her hand on his arm and just says, "Thank you, my friend. I'm sure she will."
You're welcome. I'll be along shortly. And I just kind of sit out on the beach for a couple of hours by myself.
Holly will make her way back to the inn and go to bed.
I mostly just sit out on the beach for a couple of hours, light some fire in my hand from my magic and just kind of play with it, and occasionally fiddle with a couple of stones I have in a small pouch on my waist. And after that, I head back to the inn and sleep.
Nocris has eggs.
Yeah, he's the Daenerys.
Noted. The of dragons. All right, well, you awake the next morning feeling quite refreshed and long rested. If you haven't yet pressed the button, you can do so now. You basically wake as if you had just spent like 3 or 4 days out on the road, all beaten up and ill-rested, so you feel a little stiff and a little groggy maybe, but you do feel well-rested.
That's literally every morning for someone as arthritic as Talia.
Okay, so Talia feels normal. Everyone
Yep.
else feels like Talia, which is abnormal.
How do you do this every morning, Talia? I don't understand.
She shakes her flask.
That answers a little bit.
Holly just kind of lays across a table.
Barkeep, coffee. Black is the lowest pit of hell.
Christ.
Well, okay then. Coffee it is. He gets you some coffee. Hopefully it's black enough for you.
Ugh. I take it and I begin to nurse it slowly as I come to. Occasionally, I just let little bits of frost from my breath hover over it to cool it down as needed.
That's a little too special there, Mr. Dragonborn.
I'm not gonna waste my frickin' breath weapon on a cup of coffee. I could make a coffee sickle after that, sure, but come on. That would damage the table, and I ain't paying for that shit.
That's fair. That's fair. So you sit there and sip at your coffee, occasionally keeping it chilled enough to not burn you.
Yep.
But it's still black enough that, even midnight shies away.
Awesome. Perfect. I am content.
Holly's just slowly munching on pocket bacon, trying to wake up.
As he walks into the Umber Hulk from the front door and not from his room, coming down, he's drenched head to toe in his fucking trousers, and that's it. And he doesn't say anything to anybody. He just walks up to his room. And
You
fucking
go first. Swim already?
no answer. Just walks by. He flicks a little bit of water at you, though.
Is he always
Does it
like that?
smell salty?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Cowdery, yes, he is always like that. There's no telling where he's going to go, what he's going to do, what kind of alcohol he's going to buy.
It'll be good. That much we know.
At least he reliably spends his money on one thing.
As I yell at him as he's heading up the stairs. Come back down in a couple of minutes. We have things to discuss about what we want to do next.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
My vote is Nocris.
Ooh, touche.
I thought
You
that
have
was
been talking
Abby's
with the
vote.
bard a little too much, I see.
Tarbin has yet to rouse this morning.
What are we
Speaking of-
doing with our little bard friend? Are we just letting him go?
He had business here and Griselda was expecting him, so when he wakes up, I will be sure to let him know that Griselda is still expecting him. Maybe light a little fire underneath his butt to get his inspiration going, if you will.
He was telling me yesterday that he definitely had plans to go back east as well, so
Hmm.
I don't know. He's a very strange small man.
He's a bard.
Are all bards like this?
No, but
Most-
all small people are.
Hey!
That's true.
Most bards.
I bet
do have
everybody's
top-
smaller than you, tall cow.
Not everyone.
Seriously, dude, you're taller than me, man. As
So
I
just
just look
as
at
you're
Calorie.
as you're having this dialogue and discussion, you see Tarbin slowly making his way down the stairs. In front of him is a a local lady, looking a little worse for wear and or potentially caught unawares of what time it is already, who is quickly scurrying down the stairs to leave.
You wasted my time.
While he is, luxuriously and calmly striding step by step down to have something this morning for breakfast.
Tarbin,
Ah, yes, hello, my friends. My saviors.
I poured a little bit of my coffee into a standing mug for him. Coffee?
Ah, always. Thank you.
I want to see his reaction.
He takes a sip, and the look on his face is one of pure agony. Like
I
when
should
you-
have warned. I do drink it black.
Like if you were to take basalt and grind it down into granules and then mix it in water and then add in coal dust as well and then try to drink that, the slurry that you would be putting down your throat is equivalent, I'd say, to this particular brand of dark coffee.
Thank you. It keeps me up in the morning, especially after a very hard day.
Tarbin sputters a little bit after that, and, well, I believe that's all I'll need for the day.
Good. I take what he has left in his mug and pour it back into mine. But in all sincerity, though, I'm glad that you are back to your normal self, I would assume. And Griselda is happy to hear that you did not meet a more foul end.
Well, that is good. It is very good. I will have to make my way by and see her.
I did give her a message that you would be by at some point today.
Ah, yes, I will. I will have to make a call upon her then, I suppose. Suppose.
Oh, good, Ozzy. Azzy, you're here. Alright, so, for us all, Griselda should have our payment in line, and she is aware of what transpired. I did inform her, as I looked at Azzy, for her sailors to be careful in the next couple of weeks, just because we don't know exactly where the Dreadnought is going, or where it should appear. She did say they don't travel out that far, but I did make sure to give her a warning nonetheless.
As he nods and he turns to look at Torvin and very bluntly asks him what he knows of Honoria.
Well, Honoria is a distant capital city in far-off lands to the west, across the ocean. I've only heard legend and rumors of fabled tales of knights and their various deeds done in the name of the kingdom, saving them from all manner of ill-begotten fates. But to this day, however, I cannot be sure that the kingdom actually still stands, as I've never met anyone from there, and I've never journeyed the ocean myself.
Do you know whereabouts it is on a map?
Well, supposedly. It's about 3 weeks sail west, and then a little north along the coast of whatever far shore you come upon. And it sits at the crest of a mountain in the north-facing valley.
Thanks for your time and the information.
Anything for those that saved me.
That does present us with Griselda's next offer, however. She did say that there seems to be trouble to south a bit from a gang calling themselves the Chimeras or something like that. She doesn't have much information, but she did say if we are willing to wait for a bit, that she could have more information to us before we accept this job of hers.
How long do we wait?
Maybe a couple of days, depends on how ravenous they are, I guess. She didn't really have much information other than that they like to behaggle merchants that are coming towards the town and stealing their supplies.
Did she say what direction?
To the south. I know I have some interest towards the south for some matters, but
Well, I say, if they're just common bandits, we load up our wagon with a few extra barrels, cover them with a tarp, and make our way down.
Adventure! Holly says as she
So you want to lure them?
half-heartedly lays on the table and shakes about her pocket bacon.
I don't see any harm in it.
Do you want to lure them to this group? As I look around the table, I point at the large dragonborn, I point at the large cow, I point at the... How big are you again, Holly?
Small.
The moderate to small size tabaxi, the clearly heavily armored sailor, myself.
No, you
Yeah,
can't
we
take
should
your armor
probably
into the bag.
obtain something like to throw over top of us to make this more convincing, because otherwise a common bandit won't, like, you know, go, "Rawr, let's attack the heavily armored wagon."
We've been attacked by stupider. However, I see what you're saying, and our wagon has a covering, so
I can make myself smaller if that helps.
And I can go invisible for a while as well.
it's just a thought. Like, you don't have to do it, obviously. There's probably better ways, like waiting for them to attack somebody else, or waiting here until, you know.
I do like the idea of putting ourselves in harm's way rather than some hapless merchant or traveler, though. Maybe some large cloaks to conceal ourselves.
Or maybe we just hire ourselves out to the next caravan making its way south.
That works as well, because then we could make money off of both Griselda and the caravan. Yes, Grandma is greedy.
that would not be a bad way to go. It would allow us some travel to get paid down towards where we are, and it would provide us with some means of getting more information, and we'd be getting paid by Griselda, so I do like that idea. Holly, Calorie.
It works. Well, it sounds like it should work at least.
I'll do whatever the group thinks is best.
Azzy.
Whatever makes the better story.
Azzy.
Well, I'm down. I'll go get the wagon ready and throw the tarp over it.
Alright, I'll go talk with Griselda and see if she has any merchants in mind that are traveling that way for us to tag along with.
Okay.
So I had to go talk to Griselda after I have drained my mug.
You are now consumed by the black hole that is the coffee.
Black hole coffee. It's a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, does that mean the inside of Nokris is now a bag of holding?
Please, no.
We're not going to test that theory.
Yeah,
Are
don't
you secretly
try to
descended from a
put things
void dragon?
inside him. Okay.
Things that
Holly
aren't
makes-
Azzy, you mean?
Holly makes no promises.
I look at the
I
bard.
mean-
This is your doing.
Hey, don't blame me. I just got saved.
So yeah, I'll head to Griselda and talk with her.
All right, very well. So as everyone else is effectively deciding upon how they wish to travel in said style, I guess is the word I'll use for, potential caravan guarding, or whatever you would like to do in line with that. Nokris makes his way over to the square, where he will meet up with Griselda.
Good morning, Griselda.
Good morning. I believe this belongs to you. She passes a little coin purse to you.
Thank you.
Yes, payment for the incident at the tower.
How much is it again, Junie?
The amount that you gain from completing said quest is 500 gold pieces and 6 potions of greater healing.
Okay.
I would like at least one of those potions.
I will allow you all to distribute them among yourselves at next moment that you all convene again.
Yes. All right. So everyone can just go ahead and add 100 gold to.
I tried to make math easy on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
Indeed,
you.
indeed.
Other aside from you gain X amount of gold,
Right.
and it's a prime number.
Exactly. It's like you gain 3,527 gold, so now divide that by 5. Fuck.
Okay. Cool.
Don't forget the pile of gems you make us evaluate every time. Ass.
So yeah. Thank you. I'll be sure to give the others their fair share once I see them. We have decided to also take you up on your other job offer.
Ah, wonderful. Okay. Well, the Khmer crew, information that I was able to discern early this morning, having my my ears and eyes seek things among the city and other circles. The Khmer crew appears to be operating to the south out of a tower down in the Mare of Dead Men. She goes ahead and marks the vicinity roughly for you on a map.
The Mare of Dead Men?
Yes, it is a
Oh
swamp.
no.
It is a swamplands to the south. This particular tower, I believe, used to be called Inarv's Tower.
And what was the name of the tower again?
Inarv's Tower. Or Iniarv. It's INIARV.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard of this place in Yarv's Tower.
Well, it is fallen from its prior use, but it is certainly still there. An odd beacon in the swamp.
Was it just like a lighthouse to travelers in the past, or did it house some other feature?
Well, it was more of kind of an outpost of sorts. It used to be a keep where Inarv was a mage many years ago who I don't want to say really fell, but kind of gave in to the benefits of the darker sides of magics and became a lich, but has since been robbed of his undead mortal coil and no longer inhabits such a location.
Well, that's good. Definitely don't want to deal with the lich.
Just if you can give me a history roll.
I do
I'll
that.
see if you have enough for me to give you further details of your own knowledge about the area.
Seven.
That sounds like a story to you.
Interesting. Okay. Anything I should be aware of in the area, such as foul magics that still roam it? The name is not welcoming, I will say.
Well, yes, I mean, down in the area, there's definitely going to be undead. You're in a swamplands, so I would expect that dead things find their way in and never find their way out.
Okay. Oh, at least there's that. Thank you. Anything about the Chimera crew themselves aside from where they are now?
Yes, so the leader of the Chimera crew at this point is believed to be an individual by the name of Rega Sworn. And that's Regaswarn.
Interesting.
Yes, on her own, not really all that challenging, but with her band of brigands with her, and a apparent recent acquisition, she has gained quite the bit of power.
Acquisition of what? Pray tell.
Some say some sort of paladin, but I heard nothing in terms of actual identity. But there is definitely someone that knows much more than she does that is pulling the strings.
Paladin, you say? Interesting. Anything about them other than they are just there?
Only those reports that they've seen a paladin acting around and following around with Rega. No details on identity, however, or where they came from.
Nokris seems to be very... how shall we say? His eyes harden at this. And his lips kind of turn into a snarl slightly. Thank you. That is most helpful. Do you know of any merchants who are heading down towards the south now that we may travel with to hopefully blend in with them?
Southbound merchants, I would say there may be a few. You should definitely check in with Torver.
Will do. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll head back to the others with this information, and I'll be back in a couple of seconds.
Yep, no problem.
He has to go moisturize his hands.
Oh. So Nokris returns, and I will wait for him to return to relay what his findings are to you.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bam, ba-ram, bam, bam, ba-ram.
Okay, there. Did you regurgitate the information to them, Junie, or are you allowing me to do that?
I didn't. I was letting you. I basically just let them know that you arrived and would relay the information you found when you were back.
So, as I arrive, Griselda was able to actually get us some information, surprisingly, in such short notice. They are in a place called Inavar's Tower in the Mire of Dead Men. It's a swamp down to the south. Or Inavar's Tower. It used to belong to a lich, apparently, who is no longer in residence there. By some luck. They are led by a woman by the name of Rega Sworn. She has recently come into power, and of interesting note, it seems that a paladin of some type has been palling around with them.
Paladin, huh?
Yes, probably some idiot that decided to betray his order.
As he takes out that shield that he bought from the smithy. And, like, examines the crest of it, just kind of thoughtfully. Also, on the note of liches, who has the jug?
I believe I'm still carrying it. Because I was the one who picked it up and opened it, so figured I would still be carrying it.
Yeah. Well, as keen as I am to travel with it, I'm not keen at all to travel with it. So what are we gonna do about
our
it?
lift tower? I
We
want to
could-
take it to the wizard, personally.
We could ask Thalavar about it. He might know more than us.
Yeah, let's go talk to Galio. But anyway, on with what you were saying. Sorry for the interruption.
It's fine. That's pretty much all that she gave us on. What concerns me is not so much this Rega person, it's more the paladin that she has now in her company than anything. But, anyway, Griselda also mentioned that if we were to try and find a set of merchants that are heading south, we should speak to Torver in regards to it, and he might be able to tell us of them.
Sounds like a plan to me. Who wants to go talk to Torvar and who wants to go talk to Galio?
I'll go with Torvar this time. Because Galio and I are not on the best terms after my most recent conversation. So, y'all have fun.
Mind if I take the item from you then?
Feel free. I would recommend not opening it in the middle of town. Otherwise, we're going to end up with another one of those as she jabs her thumbs in the direction of the beacon.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
I'm gonna go wherever Nokris is going.
I'm gonna follow Azzy in this instance.
Right. Well,
All right. And I will say that Cowrie will go with Torver's Post. So, you...
Wait
break
a second. Torvar, isn't that like the scumbag who runs the general store?
I mean... Maybe?
Let me pull up the map again and confirm my suspicions, because if so, we might need to like do a little bit of like a monitor time fuckery. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, 7 stars. Alright, I'll deal with him. Don't be surprised though if I don't end up in jail the next day.
Wait, why do we hate this guy?
You know, what happened? I went to the restroom and now you guys are going to jail?
Apparently Talia really hates Torver.
Yeah, well, last time Talia had an interaction with Torver, she was very brisk with him. As
Oh, that's right, because he called me a cat.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
guy. Let's
'cause
go
he's
to
a
jail. Let's
racist
go,
piece
Talia.
of
Let's go beat
shit
the
who
shit out
tried
of
to
him.
cheat you.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
a racist piece of shit who tried to cheat my friend. So yes, I do not like Torver. I will absolutely go to Torver's post. Have you ever seen Angry
New
Grandma?
suggestion. Don't send Angry Grandma to negotiate with the merchant.
But you're going with her, so it's fine.
All right, low.
That was great.
Hold on a second, I can't breathe.
All right, so I guess let's start with the House of Thalvar first.
All right. I guess since yesterday I already had an interaction with the man, I sort of stroll up and pass the guards without even really saying hello to them and walk straight up to his room to see if he's in there.
He is.
Holly pokes her head in the door. Galileo!
He kind of moves abruptly at your sudden presence and turns slowly to look, kind of hoping that his eyes don't see what his brain thinks he may have heard, and the fear strikes him as it is in fact confirmed. Oh, hi.
Galileo, my bag is working super well. I can hold so many things inside of it now.
That is fantastic to hear. Yes, excellent. What is it that I can do for you now?
Galileo, we need to get out of earshot of everybody.
Oh. Well, step
Someplace.
inside. Step inside my office a moment.
Holly
Is-
skips inside.
Everyone's going inside, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you both go inside, and he kind of raises his hand and snaps, and the door is no longer present in the wall. This should do. No one will be able to hear us. I've made the walls, let's just say, thicker than they ever would be in this plane of existence.
As he smiles, a useful trick. However, he pulls out the jug and the journal and hands over the journal.
What is this? Yes, let's see.
In
He takes the jug and just kind of sets it down on his desk and holds the journal as you continue.
Oh, I don't hold out the jug. I maintain proper control over the jug.
Okay. So he receives the journal from you.
Inside that journal, you'll probably acquire the hunch that inside this vessel is the soul of a dragon trying to become immortal through what I can only assume is lichdom. But I'm a commoner when it comes to magic ideologies, so I'm here asking for your help on how to either dispose of it or lock it up permanently.
Well, I assume this is all information you came upon from this journal?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very well. I will delve into this deeper for a moment, but can I have a peek at that jug?
Yeah. Don't unstopper it.
Oh, of course.
We tried that once already, but nothing happened. So, but I don't know, you're magic.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough. It's probably a good sign and nothing occurred, but let's just see what we have here. He kind of holds the jug very cautiously at arm's length and looks around, peering at it cautiously. You hear him mutter an incantation that sounds very similar, like he is trying to peer within to see its magical properties, noting that it is in fact magically bound, and then kind of pondering for a moment before having a sudden notion of realization. Well, I think I know what this is, or at least was, potentially.
Was.
Well, only potentially if it now holds the soul of a dragon, I suppose, but in its prior iteration, assuming it has been altered, it used to be what is known as a alchemy jug.
Okay.
So, an alchemy jug, just think of it as a source of many different types of liquids, simply only drawn out upon the use of a, think of it like an incantation. You call forth a particular type of liquid, you ask for it from the jug, you uncork the jug presents you with that liquid.
Okay, I understand.
There are some layers of limitations, however, but beyond that, it's effectively how it really does. It generates types of liquids for you.
Okay.
Now, the other part, well, if I need to try to scry into it to see if there is the soul of a dragon bound within, well, that is going to take more power than I have present here with me to see, so I would need to call upon the aid of more of my kind from Neverwinter to investigate it fully, but if you are leery about such things, I will leave it in your care, but I would say be cautious.
Is there a way to magically contain it? Just forward transportation?
Yes, there could be. I could, let me see if I have a sealing spell here. He goes and pulls out his journal of his own from his robes and begins rifling through his book. I had to use this, maybe, a few months back now, I think it was, to make sure that there was no... yes, here it is. He finds the incantation of binding, of sealing, that will hold any magical energies inside the construct of whatever it is currently bound inside of. I can seal this for now, but should you wish to remove the seal at any point in the future, simply say the particular phrase that will be bound to it, and the seal will be broken.
Okay, what's the phrase?
The phrase would be Aliator.
Colt, write that down.
The phrase? You'll have to repeat it again.
Aliator.
Spell it.
Aleator. Aliator.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So with that, he incites the particular phrases to seal the vessel, and such it is bound.
Alright then. Well. Thanks for your time again, Galileo.
Yes, my pleasure. If you are needing this journal, I'd like to read it over, see if I can scry any additional information from it that you may have missed or perhaps overlooked.
I've actually already copied the contents of it. I spent last night doing that, just for this occasion. So, it's all yours.
All right, very well. He raises his hand to the air again and snaps, the door appearing back into its position.
As he gives a slight bow out of respect, and then turns, grabs Ash, and drags her out with him.
Okay.
Bye. I gotta go.
Yes. Farewell.
Ash.
As he begins to grab the journal and rife through its pages, looking for particular information.
Sorry, Holly.
Just pulls a tiefling out of thin air. The fuck?
Yoink! All right.
Nokris just follows behind them.
Very well. And
Uh,
is there
off-
anything else?
Off to Torver's
As
post with much
we're-
heat.
As we're heading to Torvers, I'm gonna kind of trail behind a little bit and kind of fall back and let Azzy lead the way, and just kind of give Nokris a once over and kind of fall back with him.
Give him a once over. Okay.
Give him a once over. Just
That's
kind of fall
code
back
for
with him.
staring scaly ass.
He looks
Scaly
very,
armored ass.
he looks very good in his armor. Okay, he's so shiny. Just gonna kind of pick up on how Tansy is about this job and heading south and stuff. And she's gonna kind of look at him and just nudge him with her shoulder. This job seems to be affecting you a little more than our other jobs. Are you okay?
I don't know. I may or may not be. It depends on what we find. Let me put it this way, since you were so nice to trust me last night, I may have run in with this paladin before, and if it is who I think it is not going to be easy.
A friend?
Once. Now nothing more than a goal.
This is troubling indeed, my friend. But, if you need help, I'm right beside you.
I thank you.
Our party is right beside you.
I kind of dig my hand into a small pouch by my waist and just kind of fiddle with the 4 stones in it. I do nod to acknowledge her, but I'm kind of lost in thought at that point.
She'll drop it and just kind of pick up pace a little bit and give him another shoulder bump before she goes and catch up to Azzy as we're heading back to Torvers.
Okay. And so, you arrive at the establishment of one Jack Torver, the Torver's Post, where you see a small bustle of initial morning's commerce happening, and some wagons basically being loaded out back with various goods, potentially bound for various directions that you are not sure where they may be going just yet.
Grandma? Cow person?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought he was still describing the scene and maybe I just lost connection or something.
Nope. No, that was basically it. But I mean, like, if you want me to be like, you go inside, I can do that, if you'd like.
Sure. I'm still
Alright.
trying to think of exactly how many different ways I want to pin this person to the wall and
Okay. Fair enough.
flog them. That's the word I'm looking for.
So you enter the post, finding that Jack, the proprietor, is currently engaged speaking with a potential client over by a pile of sacks that are stacked, filled with some form of grain, like they are making a deal upon a quantity of it for a particular shipment that is being loaded in the back.
Can you describe this customer?
The customer is kind of a elder man, sort of. little on the portly side. He's definitely been eating well, which means that he's good at his mercantile job. And you can tell that he does have the look of a merchant and a traveler, someone that is used to riding in a wagon everywhere they go.
So I'm going to walk up partway through this conversation that they're having. And I'm just going to loudly interrupt Torver and say, so, are you going to finish this business transaction by calling your customer here an old lard, just like you called my friend a cat?
I would not do such a thing. Not at all. No. He, excuse me a moment here. I have a discussion here with this fine lady. One moment.
No. I think you should finish the business with this gentleman who I'm quite sure you were probably going to cheat, as she loudly raises her voice when she says the word cheat.
I hardly would do such a thing.
Yeah, weird. My coin purse seems a little bit lighter than it should be after our last transaction. How about we do this? I will pay for this man's shipment. And then we're going to go talk business in the back room. You're going to lock the door.
Well, firstly...
Oh, and I'm bringing my friend with me.
Firstly, I will conclude this business here, yes. If you would like to pay, that is up to you. However, in my shop, I say the rules. And we will discuss whatever we wish to discuss right over there. And he points over in the corner next to a small little stall that has some poles and posts posted in them, like they are like poles for tents and various kind of awnings and things like that. We will not be going anywhere else. We will not be locking any doors.
Darn. Oh, geez. Suppose you wouldn't want to be doing business then with a wonderful group of adventurers who happen to have... And this is the point where Talia starts rattling off every single thing that this party has done as a group so far. And have their protection on one of your next caravans. If you do want us to work for you, because I'm offering to work for you, not with you, for you, to guard one of your caravans as it heads south. Yes, because we're willing to deal with the bandits that we know about. I suggest we talk about this deal privately. I have a feeling one of those bandits probably is listening in somewhere in town. Otherwise, how are they targeting all of your caravans?
Well, they are not targeting all of my caravans.
Oh, really?
They are targeting all caravans. And some non-caravans, too.
So do you want our protection or not?
Well, with such an offer, I can surely just decline, as you only wish to pressure me. There is other individuals that I can hire that will guard a caravan headed to the south.
Really? Have these other individuals managed to bargain with Talos himself?
I feel such exploits... I feel like such exploits come at a cost, and see, maybe that cost is not necessary for a caravan carrying grain going to the south.
I'll be honest with you, buddy. I just want to take care of the bandits. The cost for our protection, not going to be high. We'll say 50 gold for the trip.
50 gold to pay for your assistance for this trip?
That's it. That's all we're asking. Not very high.
And will this get you out of my shop?
Oh yes, yes it will. Just give me a time and place to pick up the caravan.
All right, very well. He hands you 50 gold pieces. Meet out back by a little past midday. In the caravan, we'll be looking for an individual by the name of Dobson, who will be driving the wagon.
Cool, I'll write that down.
I love that he's just like the official, unofficial note taker.
But he's good at it.
Now, if you would please back away so I can finish this particular deal and bring it to conclusion, I will see to the preparations for your caravan.
Yes. Talia will turn to his customer he was speaking to. Kind elder, how much was your transaction going to total?
Well, all said and done, probably about 47 gold. It's quite a shipment of grain, I'll have you know.
Was there anything else you were looking to purchase in here today?
No, I think everything's quite in order, yes.
Well, how about this then? For having to deal with such a fine, upstanding... As she clears her throat and turns and looks at Thalvar with the absolute most patronizing
Who's
of glances.
Thalabar?
Sorry,
Torvar.
Torvar with the most patronizing of glances, and she'll hand him a full 60 and say, "Please go and get yourself a nice bottle of wine, and perhaps spend an extra evening in the town. There's a wonderful inn down in the southern area. I believe it's called the Amber Hawk Inn."
Don't lie to that man.
No.
It is not nice.
Umber Hulk Shell Inn. Sorry. They're wonderful there.
Well, duly noted, yes, I will take a look.
You have a wonderful day. She gives Torvar the slimiest smile she can possibly imagine.
Thank you. You as well. The old man and Torvar basically just turn back into their discussions about rates on quantity and volume.
That sounds like a class that Talia would have skipped. Anyways, were we all supposed to be meeting back at the inn? Was that the plan?
We were on. I think those of us that went to the tower were on our way to meet you guys at the post.
Oh.
So they're
I
coming
assume
to
I'd
meet you there.
probably, I assume I would probably run into them on our way back then, because business is concluded unless you need to purchase something from that
No,
No.
not at the moment.
thing.
While we're
in the
leaving,
shop.
I mentioned to you that you're actually worse at this than I am. And I'm surprised at that fact.
I mean, that's hard to beat, I guess, especially given that your people shelter in the deep woods. So,
I just meant the interactions, just in general.
I don't like it when people treat my friends horribly. And if you do something as horrible as designate someone purely upon something like a derogatory term
Like calling
for
someone a giant
whatever
cow.
species.
God damn!
But you are a tall cow.
See,
that in a
we
nice
call you
way.
that. You see, though, we call you that because, as a member of our party, to have shed blood with us We really like you. Swervar, on the other hand, just wants your money. So he doesn't call people cats because he likes them.
The people who just want your money tend to be the most honest, at least.
Mm,
Especially in the way they act when they don't think you're there.
are you trying to suggest we should spy on him then?
No, I'm suggesting that I tend to just get invisible and just walk around.
It's not creepy at all.
It's easier to get around when people don't notice you, and it's hard to not be noticed at 7 feet tall.
You make an excellent point. Is anyone else suddenly hungry?
So as you are departing from the post to find something to do for a few hours before you meet back up for the caravan, you bump into the rest of the group coming down from the House of Thalvar, heading to meet up with you.
Hey, yo, what up?
We have business. We are in business. I mean, we're to meet someone over there by the shop at midday to pick up a cart. Dobson, I believe is his name. We are to
Good work.
escort them. Yes. The price is quite small for our labor, but I'm more concerned about getting these bandits off the road.
It's fine. I think Griselda's offer of 1,000 gold will cover what we would have lost from here, considering.
I have to admit, I'm at least a little surprised that Granny did not go to jail.
Granny, in her many infinite years of wisdom, has learned a good number of tricks for dealing with skeeving
He wasn't
merchant.
willing to go into a locked room with her. It probably helped.
That was probably for his best interest.
Oh yes, it most certainly was. Have you ever dealt with an invisible old angry lady?
No?
Hopefully no, because I don't want to have to drag people off to jail.
Define
I already
old.
have more important things to deal with.
Not that I'm aware of, because she was invisible.
Speaking of well, I guess not speaking of items. I was thinking about the shop, and I was thinking about items. Can I have at least one of those greater healings of potions? So,
Yes.
because I used my last one, reviving calorie.
Speaking of which, here, I hand everyone a greater healing potion. Also part of the payment that Griselda gave to us for our last job. We do have one extra. I toss it to Azzy. Here, you take it.
Thanks.
You are probably going to be the one with the best ability to either use it or shove it down someone's throat should they need it.
Good God, potion of healing, greater potion of healing.
Greater healing.
Okay, sorry, I just realized that I have 10 regulars that weigh 5 pounds, and I thought just one of them weighed 5 pounds, and I'm like, God damn, that's a thick ass potion.
She thick.
Yo,
It's
that
a special
vial.
bottle.
That violet thick.
That cork stopper, though.
Mm-hmm.
What did the wizard say about the jar?
It was at one point some kind of jug of something. As I looked at Azzy, I didn't catch all the details.
Was an alchemist jug. It may still be an alchemist jug. That being said, it may also hold the soul of the dragon. It's best if we discuss it a little bit more privately. I don't want this to be general knowledge.
Yeah, that would probably be best. Are the rooms at the inn really private enough to discuss this, or do we need to go somewhere even more private?
I can actually describe it to you on the road if you can wait that long. If not, then we can go back to the
Definitely.
inn.
We
That's
can
fine.
wait.
Okay, well, you guys have some time to burn still. It's probably like mid-morning. You still have maybe like 2 or 3 hours until you got to meet up with the caravan.
I will actually, once everyone kind of breaks off, I will head back to the general store and see if there is a weapon of some type that I might be able to purchase from there that might be of better quality than my current greatsword. I don't have my hopes high, but I will take a look and see if anything of interest is in stock.
I'll tag along.
Oh look, Holly is going with Nokris. Surprise.
Fuck off.
Do I need to, does Granny need to chaperone you now?
No.
Granny, don't act like you could stop her.
Oh, honey, you ain't seen shit yet. As Talia rolls up her sleeves and does like the muscle flex, but then like a little bit of it droops.
Put that away before you hurt yourself.
Well, if we've got some time to kill and we're possibly going into danger, I'm gonna go get ready for that. So you all enjoy. Where should I meet you?
Behind the store is where the caravan will be meeting.
I'll be there in an hour.
Sounds good.
Yep.
As
Okay.
he walks off with his overladen pack.
Okay, so as he has a large sack, and he's heading off. So Holly and Kowal are going to go looking around shops together, I guess. Are the rest of you going to be doing anything interesting beyond Calorie currently spinning a glaive?
Honestly, no. I think I'm actually pretty well stocked at this point. Although I just have this big pile of gold, nothing to do with it. Huh.
There's always women.
Talia's too old for that shit.
Yeah, she wouldn't know what to do with a fucking woman if she got her hands on one anyway.
Maybe disagree. Ooh, there is Mage Hand. I don't need a dexterity score for that. Anyways, moving on.
Yes, moving on. So let's take a little journey to the market and look at potential weaponry that Koval is looking to acquire.
Mm-hmm.
Not ladies.
No. He does not name his blades.
Let's be honest here. Koval doesn't go looking for ladies. Ladies go looking for Koval.
That is accurate. That is accurate.
Can confirm.
So what are you in the market for?
Mostly, I'm looking to see if there's an improvement for a great sword that I can replace this one with, or that I can maybe get done to this one, although I don't think we would have the time to do it. So, mostly in that realm.
Okay, so basically you have at this point in time just a standard greatsword, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, you can find a +1 among the shops.
Oh, sweet. I will peruse around, and if I do find one, I will lift it up and test its weight.
Mhm.
And I will ask the owner how much for the blade.
So he kind of checks along the inventory that he has and says, "Oh, yes, that particular blade. Let's call it 450 gold pieces."
Done. Do you happen to have a sheath to go with it?
I do indeed. He goes in the back and pulls it out so he can hand it over to you to sheath the blade.
Thank you. And I'll also take some materials for keeping it clean and well maintained.
Keep me clean, Daddy.
So he gives you the necessary oils and things to clean and maintain the blade with.
Thank you. How much is that in total, Junie? Still 450 or?
Yeah, still call it 450. The ancillary components of basically owning a blade and a sword is not such that it's going to put you out for the cost of it.
Okay.
So he's less concerned about giving you those items to go with it and just allowing you to have them kind of thing as part of the price of the sword.
Thank you.
Are there any interesting looking battle axes there?
No, nothing too crazy. Just pretty much like standard battle axes that are present. And you can
So
find
nothing that would be better than my blue.
No.
Okay. I'll just mill around and poke at sharp daggers while Nokris does his shopping.
I will also inquire in the market for some medicinal herbs and things for potions and the like. Since I don't know how long we're going to be traveling, I would like to probably craft some of those on our way.
Okay, very well. So you do in fact find an apothecary or an herbalist that has the particular components that you're looking for. And you are able to acquire for the sum of 10 gold pieces enough material to be able to construct another 6 potions, should you choose to.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other shopping errands? I will take that as a no.
I think we're good.
Okay, so everyone will convene yet again at the appropriate time to find Dobson and a cart behind the post. Dobson in the driver's seat, and his son, a kind of like spry little boy of age of about 11 or 12 who is interested in helping out his father on these journeys, but at the same time knows that he's not doing much in the way of assisting, but maybe at least learning. Dobson's son's name is Bert.
Talia is going to be very protective of the fact, or very protective of the child. And the fact that there's one present on what is potentially going to be a very dangerous journey. She will stay as close to him as possible.
All right, noted. I suppose you're our protection if you're showing up at this time here looking like that.
That we are.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, You don't see too many folk that aren't part of the guard wandering around looking like they're ready to do battle.
Up walks Azzy in his full plate armor with a fucking awesome kite shield and a fucking venomous or draining longsword.
Holly kind of looks at her axe and nods, and she's like, "Yeah, okay, I get it. I get, yeah, okay."
Yeah, but then we have the death cleric in his full regalia. You have an eldritch knight decked out in full blown half plate with all the regalia of a priest of Mistra. So yeah, we're quite the motley crew here.
Indeed, indeed. Well, it's good to meet y'all. I'm Dobson, and this here's my boy Bert. He's coming along to try to help me keep my orders in affairs and things in order here, but mostly to try to learn the route and learn the business. 'Cause one day I'm gonna turn it all over to him.
Well, what a wonderful career for such a promising young boy. Tali is definitely like all about the fact that there is a kid. She goes full on doting grandma.
Should give him some fucking sweets too. Jesus.
But what if I had any?
You could have bought some
Would
if
you
you were
like
thinking.
one of those?
All right. Anyways, yeah, if you're all in order and ready to go, I will get underway. We got quite a ways to go here still.
Yeah, I believe that we
tease.
are, Dobson.
Okay. So he gets the cart underway, being pulled by 2 horses in a team. And the back of the cart is covered wagon. It's packed pretty high with sacks of grain and various other elements of cookware and food, basically tied up and strung around the top of the posts on the awning covering the cart, as there's no real space to put anything else down among the storage in the cargo area. And it clanks along as they begin to move down the road and out the gate.
On the road again.
That was
Everyone,
just going through my head.
everyone on the road again. And we
I
find
swear we lived
ourselves-
like half of our lives in the back of a wagon.
We find ourselves prepping to leave for Leyland. And as we leave the gates,
Wait.
wait,
For Leyland?
we're leaving from Leyland.
Oh. I was
That's-
like, I thought
that's-
that's where we.
That's where we are. Going south.
Azzy, are you okay? Are you okay, Azzy?
Did
Azzy,
you
are
have
you
something
okay?
to drink before we left?
So you start from here, and we're going to start heading this way along the road again. And pick it up next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Sounds good.
We got 15 minutes to No Man's Sky.